You know, for someone with such a celebrated figure, Jessica Alba says she's a bit prudish about flaunting it. That is, unless she's in character as one of the sexiest, most fearless good girls gone bad. I sat down with the actress and a bevy of her talented co-stars as they launched the wildly anticipated sequel to Sin City. They're hoping to reinvent the comic movie genre. So did they succeed?
Jessica Alba knows how to work the curves of her physique.
I just have to ask the other question that every mom out there is thinking is like, I'm sorry, you've had 2 kids and you have those abs? What the heck, man?
Jennifer Johnson is all I have to say. She's amazing. She was my choreographer. So much of it was me just getting comfortable dancing. I'm not a dancer. And being comfortable, you know, in my body and on stage and then being able to go there and really kind of own it.
And the frequent cover girl doesn't disappoint, playing an exotic dancer in Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
I know exactly where I am. I know exactly what I am.
Jessica's character, Nancy, is scarred by the death of her love, John Hartigan, played by Bruce Willis.
It was so fun to be able to play someone who's so innocent, so sweet, so naive, so trusting, and so devoted to her man, and then to have her heart broken and to be crushed and sort of like spoiled.
That's when it turns gritty, horrifyingly edgy. It's Jessica Alba like you've never seen her before.
You know, the movie is so chock full of metaphor. What do you think it means that she literally cuts off all her hair, cuts herself?
Yeah, it's rad. Crazy's sounding pretty good right now.
I love you, Nancy.
She's shedding people's perception of that sweetness.
But going from grieving lover to vengeful killer is going radically against type for this wholesome mother of 2.
You've described yourself in some articles as a prude. That playing a stripper and being overtly sexual is not really your scene.
No.
And yet, you pushed the envelope for this particular character.
Yeah, it was fun. That's why it was so fun, because it's the opposite of who I am. I mean, I run a company, I have kids.
That company is The Honest Company, which makes non-toxic, eco-friendly baby products.
We hope you'll join us.
And Jessica is at the helm as CEO. Her reality is a far cry from the fantasy world she inhabits in the revved-up take on film noir.
I mean, it's not real. It's why I can watch it, because I normally have such a hard time watching me, but I don't feel like there's any of me up there. It's Nancy.
But it's not just Nancy. Sin City, opening tomorrow, is bursting with epic and raunchy characters, straight out of the graphic novel.
Shall we?
And yet these cartoons come to life are played by Hollywood heavyweights. Not just Bruce Willis, but Mickey Rourke, Josh Brolin, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Even a cameo from the nearly unrecognizable Lady Gaga.
This won't take you very far.
Sweetheart, it's gonna take me to the moon.
The characters are all soaked in seedy sex and stomach-churning violence.
This violence is palatable and actually really fun to watch because it's not realistic.
Even though you're being tortured?
Yeah, but it's cartoon torture. You know, Wile E. Coyote is being tortured by the Roadrunner. It's always got a knowing humor to it.
Gordon-Levitt plays a charmed and charming gambler, but greed and arrogance lead him to beat the wrong guy at poker.
This boy's good.
Then there's Josh Brolin's tortured character, whose lust for his ex, Ava Lord, is like a drug.
You're dealing with suppression.
Never let the monster out.
Never let the monster out, you know, and then he sees her again, and, you know, it's like it's a perfect metaphor for addiction.
Shake her off.
You know, he sees her, and that's all he needs, and he gets sucked right in.
That there's a dame to kill for.
And so does the viewer, who's sucked in by filmmaker Robert Rodriguez.
Action.
Perhaps best known for his cult hits like From Dusk Till Dawn, and one of the earliest 3D movies from his franchise, Spy Kids.
He's really starting to tick me off.
Rodriguez doesn't just direct. He shoots, edits, even composes the movie's music. And he uses the newest green screens to create this fantasy netherworld, like diving into a cartoon.
I call it the dream screen because it's anything you want it to be.
Yeah.
And you can move so fast and keep an actor in a flow because you don't have to change locations.
You're going into this sort of magical dreamscape of a world. And acting in front of a green screen is like that. It's like being a kid and playing pretend. And I love that.
And yet, the explicit sexuality is far from child's play. In fact, it's a former Bond girl from Casino Royale, Ava Green, who steals the show as a femme fatale to beat all femme fatales.
Dwight, how long has it been?
She's kind of a psychopath.
Do me one last favor, lover. Stay still long enough for me to blow your brains out.
What was it like playing such a wicked creature?
Ava Lord is pure evil. And it's just fun to play somebody who is so free and irreverent. Because in real life, I'm kind of, I'm really shy.
She may be shy, but not about appearing naked in the film multiple times.
Was that hard at all?
Of course, I think there's not one actor that I know that enjoys, a nudity scene, and you want to die. But for Ava Lord, nudity is a weapon. She uses her sexuality to get what she wants. You become kind of numb, and you just do it. You forget in some weird way that you are naked.
Ironically, though she's not naked on the movie's poster, it sparked controversy when the Motion Picture Association of America banned it.
I think it's a lot of noise for nothing. On the poster, it's very suggested. You don't really see anything. And I find it quite sexy in a very tasteful way.
Eva's co-star came to her defense.
We live in a very prude country. They much rather send kids to war than show a woman's breasts, which is something that's beautiful. So I think it just speaks to our ridiculous regulations in this country and priorities, frankly.
So how old will your children have to be before they're allowed to see this movie?
I think between 16 and 18.
And yet they never saw Spy Kids until your parents let them see it.
I know. My parents.
But young kids are really not the target audience for this movie. Thousands of fans of the cult hit stood in line for hours at this year's Comic-Con after almost a decade of anticipation for this sequel. Fans all clamoring to descend into the decadent darkness of Sin City.
You have to show the dark side in order to show that redemption, that proving that you're worth a damn. You have to go down deep and dark and descend in order to come up.